Hey y'all, welcome to the Convos with Anita Santiago. I am your host, Anita Santiago. Please like, share, subscribe, and review the podcast on all major platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. The podcast is out there. If you want to reach me by email, you can email me at convoscws@gmail.com. You can send me your thoughts, ideas about episodes, or what you would like to see on the podcast. So today's topic is, are you ready for healing? So I watched a very powerful sermon about healing, and it got me thinking about the whole healing journey. It had me um, thinking about how we say so and so needs to heal, or you just need to heal, and before you get in another relationship, you need to heal. Before you get into another marriage, you need to heal. You got a divorce, you need to heal. You have family issues, you need to heal. But are you really ready to heal? Before we can embark on the process of healing, in my mind, there's a step that we need to talk about that happens before you start the healing process. And that step is the preparation for the healing process. We have to assess whether or not we're open to the type of change that a healing journey demands. And I think that if we really step back and we look at how we get stuck, why people never really get into a healing space, we'll see that there are some things required before you embark on a healing journey that are very, very important. So let's start with the definition of healing, because I think that's going to really help frame this question of, are you ready for healing? So the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines healing in four parts. So part one, healing is defined as to make free from injury, to make sound, or to make whole. Pretty understandable. The second part of that definition is to make well again, or to restore, as in restoring your health. The third part of that definition is to overcome or to mend, like mend relationship situation. And then the fourth part of that is to restore to original purity or integrity. So basically, when we take these four pieces of this definition and put them together, it prompts us to look at healing as the restoration of a person or situation to a state that's free from injury, disease, or defect. Just think about it like this. When you have a sore or cut, the healed skin often looks very different than before the sore or cut was there. It usually leaves a scar. That scar might be very small and unnoticeable, as in, a scrape or a small cut. Or it could be a very noticeable scar, like from a major surgery, where the scar is visible and it leaves the skin dramatically different. So as I was thinking about this topic, I wondered about the times that it's been difficult for me personally to embark on a healing journey. And as I thought about that, I said, there are some pieces that need to be in place that would help a person start that healing journey and probably have more success on the other side. So, what are some of those things that we need in place in the preparation stage? These things will help us determine if we are actually ready to heal. So, the first thing that I think is required in the preparation for healing is openness. Openness to new ideas, openness to possibilities, openness to seeing things in a different way. And that's because if you can't see different possibilities, new possibilities, different perspective, it's hard to envision yourself on the other side of the thing you're trying to heal from. You have to be able to see a different state of being, operating in a different way, moving in a different way. And I think this is probably one of the places where many of us, myself included, have a lot of trouble. We often have family traditions, beliefs, things that we've determined to be true, things we've grown up with believing that are true. And sometimes those things cause us to plant our feet in the ground and dig in. And at the same time, it prevents us from being able to see different things. And so it's very important to remember that mindset plays a big role in your healing journey. You have to believe that it's possible. You have to believe that it's good for you. You have to believe that there's a purpose in it. And if you're not able to see beyond what you're seeing, it can make starting that healing journey very, very difficult. And I think about times in my life where I just wasn't open to people presenting me with a different idea because I decided this is the way it was. I didn't really see a way out. No, that's not going to help. Yeah, I see what you're doing over there, but I can't really see how that would help me. True story. I'll give you an example of when in my work situation, I had a couple of friends that were trying to help me through some very difficult work situations a few careers ago. And one of those things was time management, and it was presented to me by several people. Hey, if you can just manage your time a little better, your days may not be frustrating. Well, no, I didn't buy into that because I had determined that the reason my days were frustrating was because of the way my work environment was. That's an example of not being open to a mindset. Now, I'm not saying that you have to embrace every new idea or every possibility that comes along. That's not reasonable, but what I'm saying is you have to have an openness to hear it. Hear it out. Sometimes people will present new ideas or perspectives to you, and you can take the pieces that work for you, and maybe some pieces don't work for you, and that's fine too. But it's the willing to hear it out. It's the receptiveness to, there may be a different way of looking at this. There may be something about this situation I don't know or I don't understand. And just having that openness can really, really put you in a good space and prepare you to start that healing journey. I think openness is probably, out of these four things that I'm going to mention, I think openness is the biggest one because mindsets are where we find our stuckness. Inability to transcend unhelpful or unproductive mindsets is a real, real thing. And I think if you step back and think about it, you can look at times in your life where there's been it's been very difficult to embrace something new or something different or understand something from a different perspective. The second thing that I think is very important in preparation for a healing journey is self-esteem and self-worth. Now this is a big one, right? Because typically in our society, when we talk about self-esteem and self-worth, we equate that with women. That's directed towards women. But I will tell you that I feel self-esteem and self-worth is just as important and can be just as problematic for men as well. We have to understand our self esteem and our self worth before we embark on a healing journey. We have to believe that we are valuable, that we are worthy, and that we are deserving of being in a better place, a better space, a better situation, a better relationship. And sometimes life is life, and and life can really do a number on a person's self-esteem and self-worth. Um, just think about it. A series of bad relationships, toxic family relationships, tough work situations, bad experiences over and over and over again can start to eat away at our self esteem and self worth. And I think this is something that men specifically don't talk about because, the way men are socialized, being vulnerable and sharing that is not something that we expect men to do. And for women, sometimes our inability to deal with our self-esteem, our self-worth issues come out in other ways. We overcompensate in other areas of our lives. We may become a workaholic or overachiever just because we have low self-esteem and low self-worth. And so if you don't see yourself as worthy, and you don't see yourself as deserving, and you don't see yourself as valuable, it's very hard to go on that healing journey with confidence. Part of that healing journey is that you fundamentally want something different. And for most people, that healing, that wanting something different, um, we're striving for a positive outcome for ourselves, whether that's more peace, better relationships, better friendships. We're embarking on that healing journey for a purpose. So if you are struggling with low self-esteem or low self-worth, it's going to be hard to see how you deserve more or how you deserve better or why you should be treated differently. And I will tell you something else, that I have a favorite quote that I saw on the internet. I say it all the time. I can require what I provide. If you don't have an understanding of your self-worth or your self-esteem, it's hard for you to articulate your expectations to people around you. You have to fundamentally understand not only that you're worth it, but why. And when you enter into new friendships, new relationships, you start to change your environment, you're able to articulate why it is you will not allow certain things in your space, why you move the way you do, because my peace is really important to me. And I've worked really hard to get in this space, and I just can't allow anything to come in and disrupt it. So, really having an understanding of your self esteem and self worth is so important. And I'll just say this, like the battle about hair, lashes, nails for women, whether you should or shouldn't do it, whether you're real or not real. I always say there's nothing wrong with doing things that make you feel beautiful. Nothing at all. Every culture does it, every culture has it. The problem is when we do those things to substitute for our feelings of self-esteem or self-worth. So nothing wrong with getting your eyebrows done or your nails done or anything like that. But when it becomes a substitute for how you feel about yourself, so you're placing more value on those external things than you are on the internal things. I think that's where it's problematic. And for men, they have the same struggles. They may overcompensate by um, working out a lot, becoming a workaholic, or other things that men do as well. So it's not a one-sided topic. But at the end of the day, if your self esteem is low or your self worth is low, you have to rebuild it. You have to work on restoring yourself before the healing journey. See, and I think the way healing is presented is in a lot of cases, well, when you get on the other side of healing, that's when your self worth and self esteem goes up. And I'm saying you need that first. Because when you're embarking on that journey and things are changing and you're doing things different, you need to be able to explain to people, I'm not the same person I was. And I'm doing things different, and things are different for me, and this is why. And you can clearly articulate it. That's really, really, really important. So we've got openness to new ideas or perspectives. We've got good self-esteem and good self-worth. The third thing I think is important and that you need to have before you embark on a healing journey is a clear value system. Now, value systems can be very helpful in helping you navigate the path ahead of you, and it also can provide a framework that helps you process your feelings, thoughts, behaviors, and actions. So, a value system in a nutshell is a set of beliefs and or behaviors that guides your everyday living. Okay? Some value systems are religious based such as Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and some of the other religions that are out there. Other value systems are more more culturally based, such as the Four Agreements, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Those are kind of like value systems that people put in place, but they're not necessarily religious based. But it gives people a framework on how they should approach life. And so, whether your value system is religious, non religious, or a combination of both, this value system will help you understand how you are going to grow, learn, and change. Because before you embark on a healing journey, you need to know how is it what is it going to look like when I grow. For example, growth should have a positive outcome. That's just my perspective. So let's say you're trying to heal from toxic work relationships, and you have you're a Christian, and you also um, follow the four agreements that help guide you in how you deal with people and how you deal with situations. Well, then you know that as you embark on this healing journey, that's how you're going to process things. This is the filter that you're using. Now, it doesn't mean that one is better than the other, but it gives you a way to be consistent in your approach to change. Because remember, we said the healing process, the healing journey that you're going to embark on is going to demand change. And so, if you have a clear value system, a clear framework that you can understand the world from, it's going to help you, especially when that change is dramatic. Some situations, some healing journeys, um, the change is very dramatic. Your life may look very different on the other side. Divorce is an example of that. When a couple goes through divorce, often life on the other side of that looks very different than it did when the two people were in the marriage. And so, to keep from spiraling, maybe getting stuck in the process, you can use your value system to clearly provide a framework that says, okay, as tough as this is, my framework says I can do this, and this will help me get through a tough situation. Think of a value system like a roadmap. You know, there's an old saying that you don't know where you're going if you don't. You'll never get to where you're going if you don't know how to get there. The value system is kind of like a roadmap. It provides a layout for you to evaluate your environment, your situations, and your relationships so that you're not pushed and pulled any which way every time something happens while you're on the healing journey. I think value systems are something that we don't think about in the past. I think for the United States anyway, the value system was predominantly religious, predominantly Christian. But we have so much more diversity. We have so many different people in this country. I think that we have to be open and understand that the value system is going to be different for everyone. It's not a right or a wrong, it's have one in place. For young people, especially, I think this may be why young people struggle sometimes, is because they may not have a value system that that they may not have a value system in place for themselves. And so it can make navigating life very hard. And, instead of having a clear path on how to deal with things, I'm getting input from my friends here, I'm getting input from my friends there. And that can apply to adults too. I think in the scope of healing, a clear value system can help us avoid mistakes that we made in the past when we didn't have a value system. And it can help us create, healthy boundaries and break out of patterns that have been problematic for us because we have that framework that gives us ideas on how we can proceed forward. And the last piece that I think is really important to have in place before you embark on your healing journey is a support system. Um, Support system is critical to have in place before the healing journey. The healing journey is going to be full of change, upheaval, um, and all kind of things. And so, if you have a support system before you start your healing journey, when you get to those tough times, you have those people in place that can encourage you, can motivate you, and that can give you the different perspectives or viewpoints or possibilities as we talked about um, in being open. So, a support system doesn't have to be a lot of people. It can be family or non family, it can be friends, it can be mentors, it can be coaches, it can be teachers, whomever you can be your authentic self with. So, one of the keys about support system is a support system isn't designed to co sign everything that you do. A support system is designed to exert pressure on you in a way that's going to facilitate the change that you're seeking. So, when you have this support system in place, you're going to get people that listen to you, people that really understand you, that understand what you've been through, but also people that are going to challenge you, maybe even push back on some of your ideas about what change looks like. And so your support system should be giving you authentic and meaningful feedback. And that's not always uh, the things we want to hear. Sometimes it's sometimes we need to hear the things that are tough. And a good support system is going to do that for you. They're going to bring up things for you that, hey, I don't know if you thought about this, but maybe you should consider X, Y, or Z. It's very, very difficult, I feel, to embark on a healing journey without having that support to prop you up, without having that encouragement and motivation to keep going when it gets really, really tough. Um, Quality of a support system over quantity always. And we really, really need that positive pressure to help us move into new spaces. And when I was talking about earlier about breaking out of old patterns and behaviors and things that that make us get stuck, like old mindsets or traditions that we've held on to, a good support system will challenge you on some of those things and say, hey, well, I know you feel like this about this particular topic, but have you ever thought about it from this angle? Have you ever considered this could be going on? And what that should do for you is present another angle where you can go back and reflect and say, I wonder if I'm really seeing this in a way that's helpful. Or should I step back and reconsider what I was thinking about a situation? So, a good support system will help you grow and will be tremendously helpful and a critical part of your healing journey. When you're on the healing journey and things get very, very difficult, your support system can step in and give you the motivation. I'm in the middle of a career change. Um, I've mentioned this on other episodes. I'm in a doctorate program, and it's very, very hard. I wouldn't have made it this far without my support system constantly encouraging me and pushing me and saying, hey, on the other side of this, you're going to be able to do some phenomenal things in mental health that you want to do. And they kind of rally around me and push me forward. That's what a support system looks like. They help you not get stuck. They help you not stay in a down state too long. And sometimes if it's really, really bad, they'll actually pull you forward. They'll say, okay, we understand you're struggling. What can I do to help you? Maybe I can come over and, we can watch a game or, watch a movie, get out of the house or whatever. Whatever it takes to just give you the support that you need. And I think we become so open about talking about hurt. Like every time I turn on the computer, there's a podcast about, when your friend betrayed you or somebody did something to you or took something from you, and how did you react and what did you do, and there's posts on social media. People are just going through a lot, and I often step back and wonder and say, I wonder what it would look like if this person had a support system, and would this topic be presented in a different way. So again, um, having a support system is really, really critical before you start your healing journey. So are you ready to heal? Do you find that you're open to new possibilities and ideas? Do you have, are you in a good place with your self esteem and self worth? Do you have a clear value system? And do you understand why that value system works for you? Do you have a support system in place, or do you need to um, work on that? All of these things are so, so important before you take the first step towards healing. A healing journey is full of hard work, a lot of change. It requires a lot of commitment and dedication to everything that you want on the other side. The preparation that happens before the healing journey begins is critically important. Understanding what you need before you take those steps is so important. So here's my challenge to you. If there's something that you're working on, or something that you want to work on, or something that you want to heal from, take your time, evaluate whether or not you have these things in place that will support you as you embark on your healing journey. I can't even tell you how strongly I feel about these four things being in place. I feel like if you have the openness, the self-esteem, the value system, and the support system, your healing journey is going to look a lot different. If you've never tried these things before, if you've never put these in place before trying to heal from something, I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to intentionally and thoughtfully use these um, key points and prepare yourself so that you're ready for the healing journey. Thank you for tuning in to the Convos with Anita Santiago podcast. I appreciate each and every listener that comes back for more. Your support is amazing, and I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast on all the major platforms. Also, pop over to the website, lifeconvos.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can search for Convos with Anita Santiago on YouTube and subscribe. And if you want to reach out to me and send me an email about topics or episodes, you can reach me at convoscws@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in and happy listening.